So if you go to the home, go to quick info. That's the link. I maybe should rename it. So you should see a folder called homework. Now, this has all of the homeworks from previous years, so I will modify them as we go through. So like this one, I changed it a little bit from last year. So the PDF is always going to be like the final version that you look at for the class, because the RTFs are, I'm still working on them generally. Okay, so the fictional Dr. Miller likes to drink coffee in the mornings. And they have a deal, right? So you can read it, but right, you can purchase this mug for like $9, $8.99 last year. And then when you get refills, right, it takes 5 cents. Otherwise, you pay $2.20 a cup. So the question is, like, if you compare, like, here you can see that if I drink 20 cups of coffee, the cost of the mug is $8.99. The price of a refill is 85 cents, and the price of a normal cup is $2.20. If I bought 20 of those, right, I'd spend $44, right? 20 times 220 gives me $44. If I use the mug to get refills, right, 20 times 85 cents plus the $8.99 I had to spend on the mug means that I saved $18, right? So we're just trying to solve a problem, but you've got to, right, get all of these inputs. You've got to think about, how would I solve this problem? How would I write an algorithm to get this information from the user, right? I put an example here of how to print, right? So if you want to print something, so if we look in here, the percent, and this is in the book, but you may not have gotten to it. So here it will replace, right, the percent whatever, so percent F is 1, percent P, we can talk about those, but it will replace that with the first thing that is on the right-hand side. So it's going to print off 3.1415 to only 2 decimal places. That's what the 0.2 means, right? So it's just going to go to 2 decimal places when it prints it. Instead of, remember, if we just printed it normal, right, it would print off all these decimals, and some of them mattered and some of them didn't, right? So it's in here for you, right? So you can look at that, right? If you have questions on it, you can always ask, right? And when we're printing off stuff with one of these formatters, right, we can actually add as many things as we want. And I can do an example, yes.
You said that rounds it or just does it cut it off?
I believe it rounds it using the half rule, right? So if it's half or above, it rounds it up. And actually, there's other formatters where you can tell it to always do ceiling or always do floor, but we're not going to do that. So yeah, it should round it up, right, is what I believe it does. Other questions? Yes.
When we submit it, we do that through Canvas.
So I believe so. I'm hoping this works. So I put on the assignment, it was supposed to be such that you could upload a file, right? Submitting a file upload. So as far as I know, right, you have that ability. This is the first time I've used this, so I'm hoping this works, right? So what you'll submit is a Java file, right? So it ends in .java. Don't give me a txt file. Don't do a screenshot and give me that, right? These are things that I've had happen. Some people will copy paste it and put it in an RTF and then send me the RTF and just rename it .java, and that doesn't work. It's terrible. So just the .java file that you have within whatever this thing's called, IntelliJ. I can never remember that. Or Eclipse, if you don't like IntelliJ. Other questions? It's due September 1st, 11:59. So don't like wait until 11:58 to try and submit it, and then your internet doesn't work. Right? These are things that happen. I realize this. I'm suggesting you don't do that because you got plenty of time. Besides, who wants to work up till midnight on a Friday night? I mean, I don't think any of you do. Other questions? No questions. All right. So you guys should have read chapter 2, right? Any questions on chapter 2? It seems straightforward, confusing. I fell asleep. I got I got a nod on that one. I was really excited, so I read chapter 3. Nobody? Okay. What?
I looked at the title.
You looked at the title of chapter 2 or chapter 3?
3.
Of chapter 3. Okay. Makes me feel better. Okay. So chapter 2 at least talks about our basic types that we have. So we've discussed some of those previously, right? Of what integers are, floating point, some of the mathematical operations. I don't know, it seems very straightforward to me, but I'm not coming at this from the first time. Comments? You put in comments and strings. All right. Oh. I think the students just like torturing me with saying we should use IntelliJ. Don't go full screen. Stop it. No, that is not what I want. Fine, I'll just screw it. Okay. All right, so let's try and think of something that maybe we can try and solve with a computer program. Right, so it involves math, getting stuff from the user. So let's solve a problem. First, we'll create I'll make a class for it, but let's sketch out an algorithm for how to solve it, right? Using the things that we have. So anybody have a problem that they want to like do some sort of mathematical computation? If you don't pick one, I'm going to pick a really complicated one. Batting average. Okay. So see, for a normal batting average, what you just take the number of times you're out versus the number of times you got a hit. You count hit by pitches? I don't remember. So those don't count.
I think those are just like
walks and hit by pitch both don't count.
But they do count on your on-base percentage. Okay, so, we can make this complicated enough, I think. All right, otherwise it's like enter A, enter B, divide. Oh, we got the answer. So let's figure out both your batting average and your on-base percentage. Okay, so we'll do batting average. Anybody remember what I typed to get my main that I want? Yeah, let me try this. Come on, you know what is wrong? Why will it not? See, I think that's so stupid. I'm old and cranky. All right, so let's sketch out. All right, this is last time. All right, so we'll ask him how many. Well, let's just be crazy here. Singles, doubles, triples, home runs, hit by pitch, walk. I got hit by pitch a lot because I figured out that if you just turned into it, then you could get hit. And I wasn't very good at batting, but I was okay at pitching. So, is that it? Those are our categories. Well, I was gonna do at bats, right? So all the strikeouts, fly out, and all those sort of go together. All right, so get, I want to get all of the following. Oh. And then we're going to do some calculation. So our on base percentage is going to be, well, we add up all of the times we got on base. So singles plus doubles plus triples plus home runs plus what? You baseball people.
Well, did you count the hit by pitch into the walks? Because, like, technically it's a walk.
No, block. It's a hit by pitch. Like what? HB or something. Hit batter. I'll put HP hit pitch plus walk. Right. All divided by at bats. And then your batting average is all the first three again, or four, right? Singles plus doubles plus triples plus home runs divided by at bats, but you take out walks?
Yes.
Minus walks minus hit pitch. Then we want to, after we do the calculations, what do we want to do? What?
Display.
Display, okay? So let's put that on one side of our screen. We'll put this on the other. All right. So we want to get this information. When we come back 20 months later and we're looking at this again, we want to remember, did I enter hit pitch first or walk first? So what do we need to do to like remind ourselves what we're inputting? What?
Make a comment.
We can make a comment. Get data. Okay. Right, comments either, if you're in the chapter, either start with // so that comments everything on the rest of the line, or you can do **/*. When you do this, anything in between those is a comment. Okay? That can be as many lines as I want. Okay. Okay, so somebody other than the front row, right? You guys get banned from talking for a while. So, how do I let the user know what they're entering? What? Print them a prompt, right? will be nice, right? Please enter the singles. Maybe number of. What do I need at the end of a line? Semicolon, right? The one key you thought you'd never use in your life on a keyboard. Okay, so we asked them for the number of singles. Now how do we get that information from the user? You're not allowed to talk. I can't remember your name. Yes, you. What's your name? Heather.
Yeah.
What do you think? We're using system.in, and there's that thingy bobber that this is my children say, shh, be quiet.
You have to import keyboard.
They called it keyboard. The technical name for it is the scanner, right? So up here we'll get our scanner, right? They call it keyboard, okay. I can deal with that. Remember, what do I? Multiple choices, and it tells me Control Enter. Oh, I don't want that. Command space. No. Control space. There we go. I want the java.util one, right? If I hit Control space, right, that automatically put at the top my import for java.util.scanner. Alternatively, like a Neanderthal, you can go to the top and type it, right? It wastes time, but you know, I like doing things quickly. So yeah, technically you can type it in the top. But so scanner, and as Heather mentioned, we have the system.in. So we say equals new scanner system.in. Okay, so that we'll put a comment. Get our keyboard set up. Okay? And then somebody other than Heather, how do we get that information from the user? If you'd like, you could move from the first row to the second row, and then you'd be disbarred from being disbarred. Anybody have a guess? Okay, front row, you're allowed to talk.
Let's say set variables.
Set variable. Well, we need variables, right? So we can make them at the same time. How do we declare a variable? You gotta choose a type. Well, what do we think we're dealing with when we're talking about the number of singles, right? Right? We can't really have half a single, right? I just don't think so, right? So it's of integer type. Singles equals, and so remember, this is the declaration. I have two options. I can declare all of my stuff at the top. I generally think that's a good idea for the most part, right? Declaring all of your variables at the top. I guess part of it is because I'm old, and when I used to program in C, right, we had to actually declare everything at the top, right? So that was a requirement. So if I got the number of singles, and I want to put the data in it. How do I do that? Andrew, you want to take a guess?
Keyboard.next.
Okay. Now, us being efficient programmers, not lazy programmers. Okay. So here it says I'm redeclaring singles, but I'm really going to change that to something else, right? So enter the number of doubles. So I'll declare a new variable called doubles. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to be super efficient. Triples, runs, okay. Oh, I got 3 more. So much work. Again, copy, paste, and fix, right? So I got hit by pitch. Let me do that. Hit. Now, so the way I'm typing these, I generally think this is the easiest way to read and also type is what's called camel case. So you can either start the first word with the uppercase letter, but you make the first letter uppercase and then every letter that's at the beginning of a word you make uppercase and everything else is lowercase. So that's a technical term, hit by pitch, that kind of makes it slightly easier to read. An alternative is to put underscores in between each word. I find that's a little more difficult to type, but with code completion, right, it's not really a big deal, right? Because you guys type the first 2 letters or 3 letters, right, and it knows exactly what variable we have. Right, if you notice, every time I do something, I hit control space, and it'll automatically fill it out. So as we get to the next part, that's what we'll do. And it reduces the number of times you have errors when you're using something like an IDE. So we got hit by pitch, we got walks, and we got at-bats. Okay. All right. So now we want to do our calculations. Correct? So our on-base percentage, yes.
With the variables being declared after it asks for them to be inputted, will it be able to, will that matter?
So you're asking if I'm declaring them after I'm asking? Well, technically they only have to be declared before this gets executed. Right? So, right, so you don't actually read the number until you call this method, and then you can assign it to that variable. So if I tried to use a variable like I said double, and I said something like right, it's going to complain and saying that this is hasn't been declared yet. Right? So if I try to do it, it'll tell me that I'm doing something bad, stupid. So, all right, so I gave a hint here, right? On-base percentage, right, is not whole numbers, right? We're going to take some number, we're going to divide it by some other number. We would like, right, the best you can get for on-base percentage is 100%, or, right, 1.0. The best you can get for batting average is 100%, or batting 1,000 as they call it, 1,000 out of 1,000. So we're going to be always dealing with something that's technically between 0 and 1, right? 0 being you never get on base, 1 being you get on base all the time. Which neither one of, well, maybe the 0 happens, but the other one just doesn't happen in general. Okay, I got to make this a little bigger here then. Okay, so our on-base percentage is, we'll do this one first, and then we'll do the other one. So we want to add up the singles, doubles, triples, home runs, hit by pitch, and walks, and then divide those all by at-bats. So single. So as you can see, I type SI, right? It hit singles. I hit control space. Oh, I think I have to hit control space. It'll show you the options. Hit enter to get it to fill it out. So singles plus doubles plus home runs. Right? All of that divided by at-bats. We're gonna print this one off first, and then so how would I print this off?
System dot out. I guess a new line.
Yeah, I'll put a new line. That's fine.
And then OB.
Or we can type it out on paste base. Is, well, let's actually use the formatter. So let's use system.out.format, and we'll get some practice using that. So, do that. System.out.format. And then, anybody remember what it said?
.2F.
Yep, so you got the .2f is part, right? You forgot the percent, right? So there's a percent in front of it. The percent means I'm going to be printing off, or these are modifiers is what they call them. So typically, right, we'll just do this first, and then we'll do the 2f to get it. The embrace percentage is for the user. I'll just type extra stuff here so we got extra, right? I can put a new line in, right? So it'll go on to the next line. And then for this, I want to say I need to add what I want to print off. So what I want to print off is what? OBP, right? Does that make sense? Any questions on that? All right, so let's assume somebody gets all of these and they strike out once and they fly out once, right? So they had like a super cycle within a game, right? They did everything they could do. Maybe they had a ground out too. But we'll just do one of each. So let's see if it does what we want it to do. Oh, wrong one. Run batting average. I right-clicked and went down to the run. Okay, so singles. Oh, I put a new line in. No. Okay, let's change all these. Man. I don't want a line at the end. I want it to be on the same line. Okay. Let's try that again. So we'll say I got one single, one double, one triple, one home run, got hit by a pitch once, I walked once. That's how many things? 2, 4, 6. So let's say we got 8 at-bats, right? So I was 6 out of 8 I got on base. And I had a 0%. Oh. Anybody know why? What? That's what we got. What? How is it 0?
Because we didn't put the rest of the thing about the format.
No, the format's fine. It's actually okay with the format. That's a good thought, right? It's something to try if you don't know what it is, or print it off a lot of zeros. It's doing integer division, right? So remember, when you take two integers, right? So this first one is integer plus integer plus integer plus integer plus integer, right? All divided by an integer, right? So it said, hey, I'm doing integer division. we'll just throw away all the decimal places and keep the whole numbers, right? Which is 0, right? We didn't have any whole numbers. So does anybody remember how we can fix this? Right? There's a couple different ways. We could replace all the integers with doubles and floats, but if we think about it, does that make sense? From a I'm designing a program sense? That is a fix, right? So you are correct. We can change them all to doubles. But let's go short of doing that. That's another way we can fix it.
Can you put a thing like a deal or makes it flow?
I can put a deal on the end that makes it a float, yes. It's called a cast, right? So we technically can do that. So that's one way. So one way we can do this is to tell it, convert at bats, and I'm going to put parentheses around the whole thing. So what this says is, convert at bats from an integer into a double, and then now that we have a double on one side of our division, it'll do double division, right? And then assign it in there. So that's one way. So let's try this again. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so that worked, right? We told it, yeah, by the way, I'd like you to do, or it'd be nice if we could just say, like, do floating point division and have it be smart enough, but it's not necessarily that smart. Another way we could do it, because we're going to have to do this in the next one, so this is just another way, is we could turn this into a double, right? Because then it will force it to do that non-integer, right, the floating point division when it does this. So we don't need to have the cast. So this is another way to do it that involves less parentheses. Right? I put all the, right, why did I have to put parentheses around all of these? No line? Order of operations, right? And so there is a technical definition of what the order of operations are. Sometimes it depends on the compiler, but I always find it always best, when in doubt, parenthesis it out, right? Put parentheses around, like, I want to do this, and I don't want to worry about, did I remember that Java is different than C?
Scroll to the side a little bit. Should the double at bats equal not a dot next integer, but double?
I can always convert from integers into doubles. So you probably could use next double, but then they could enter that you had 3.5 at bats.
Okay, so they could still enter the integer.
Yeah, we still want an integer,
Freak out.
right? Because it's saying keyboard.next int. It's saying give me an integer, but I can always take an integer and convert it into a double. It's a good point. Okay, so let's do our other one. Batting average is equal to singles plus doubles plus triples plus home runs divided by at-bats minus walks minus hit by pitch. Okay, so that's just exactly what we said, right, for our problem we were trying to do. And now what I'm going to do is I want to print this on the same line so we get a little bit, right, figure out how to print multiple things on one line using the formatter. So I have my batting average, and I can say the on-base percentage is blah, and the batting, my wife says I capitalize things too much, but oh well. The batting average is, and then in here I can put another percent, and we'll do the 0.2, well, let's do 0.3, right? Because when people talk about batting average, right, they actually use 3 decimal places. So we'll do that one for this one too. So 0.3, right? So that'll give us 3 decimal places. Now what I do is, right, so it's going to substitute the first percent whatever with the first thing that's on the side. So this gets substituted in and printed off here. Then we add another thing, and it'll get substituted over there, right? So it just goes sequentially through the list and says, what's the first argument you gave? Okay, what's the second argument you gave? What's the third argument? Right, so we can print off multiple things. So here we would just say BA, right? Does that make sense? Right? Just substitute some over. So now if we run our guy, he had one single, one double, one triple, one home run, one hit by pitch, one walk. He had 8 at-bats. So he had an on-base percentage of .750, and he had a batting average of .667, right? Now, let's see, do they talk about on-base percentage as like actual percent? Is that right? Do they say he gets on base 75%, or does he?
They say it just like batting average. So it'd be 750.
Okay, so technically, probably what we want to do here is multiply by 1,000, right? And then maybe display it with no zeros, right? Because that's what you're saying. That's what they do.
No, well, they keep it like that, but they say.
But they say it the other way. You're not okay. Well, let's do it both. Let's see how we would do it if we do it the other way, right? Where we're saying we want to do, I think, 0.0 will give us 0, or maybe it's, let's try this. I think this might be the way. Formatters are always weird. What we can do is, we can take this on base percentage and we can multiply it by 1,000. Same thing for the batting average. And then, so the way that the formatters work is if you put zeros in front of the decimal point, then if you have the number 1, it'll print 2 zeros in front of that 1. So it always prints a 0 unless there's an actual digit that goes in that location. If I'm remembering it correctly. I'm doing this off the cuff, so there's always the possibility that I am wrong. And if you don't believe that, just ask my wife. She'll let you know many instances where I have been incorrect. Oh, I did it wrong. Let's see. The Java one doesn't do that. Let's see. See if I can figure it out. Java format leading zeros. Oh, I put a number. Let's see if this works. I want 3 leading zeros. I'll try this. Now you got an example where I'm wrong. Oh, 8. And then it includes all of them. Oh. Well, we got the right numbers. I don't want those. Now I gotta go to this. Let's see. Java format. No trailing zeros. Oh, no, not. Oh, these aren't the things I want. I don't think we want to do those. I might be able to put a decimal here, and that might make it. Nope, it didn't like that either. Well, the other way to do it is to turn it into an integer, which we could do. Okay, we're almost done. We'll do this. On base percentage integer equals, it's going to complain, and I'm going to say, I don't care, lop off the zeros, right? But I want to take on base percentage and multiply that by 1,000. Batting average integer equals batting average times 1,000. And then I can just use the formatter, which is a D for printing off decimal, go figure numbers, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense. I know this will work. There we go. All right, so we can use the %B for regular numbers or integers. You can use the .3f for our floating point, right? %S is for a string. So we'll see some of those as we go through the semester. Okay? Any questions on how to do any of this? Okay, make sure you start on your homework early. Right? If you have questions, who do you talk to? Okay?